For the past almost 2 months now, I've been making these mesh caps and everybody keeps asking me for a pattern or a tutorial. You guys, I'm sorry to disappoint. I cannot make a tutorial because it's not my pattern. The original creator of this pattern, her name is Kate, and she is a crochet artist, a wonderful crochet artist based in Ukraine, and she sells patterns on Etsy. I believe I came across the first hat of hers through Pinterest and it just led me to her Etsy, and I got the pattern. I tried to make the first hat. I made a whole video about it. It was probably one of my most challenging projects I've ever made. I honestly underestimated the intricacy of the hat. I thought the most difficult part of the hat would be changing colors that many times, but no, I had to learn quite a few stitches to learn how to make this hat. The hat is beautiful, the pattern is wonderfully created, and yeah, it's a work of art. The crochet artist Kate, she was nice enough to give me permission to sell these hats, and that's why I'm able to make so many and sell them, but the pattern is not mine. I did not create this hat design. I just do the colors. I've just been changing up the colors essentially. Like I said, making this hat was a very big learning curve for me. I had to learn a lot of stitches. Since I cannot give you a tutorial because again, this is not my pattern, not my creative work. It's up to Kate if she wants to put out a tutorial for this. But what I can do is give you a little bit of tips and pointers that would have helped me. They're the basic stitches that I was already familiar with, but I think the stitches that I had to learn were more intermediate to advanced level crochet work, but I was able to learn it all. Now I'm gonna do my best to show you how I do these stitches and also different things I did differently to like accommodate my crochet style in these hats. On average, if I made these hats the regular way by changing a color each round, it would take me about 6 to 7 hours, and that's usually not in a day. I don't think I've ever completed one of these hats in a day. It's over the course of like maybe a few days because it is a lot of strain on the hands to just crochet that much in one sitting. I'm also using a 2.25 millimeter crochet hook. It's very tiny. So I will be using 100% mercerized Egyptian cotton from the brand Artiste, and this is 100% cotton thread. My dear old 2.25 millimeter hook. I can't find it right now because it's so tiny. I'll find it. Like I said, I've never completed this in the day. Should I try to do that today? I don't know. So it's been about an hour and I've completed exactly 10 rows. Well, it's not actually 10 rows, it's 10 rounds. This pattern has a total of 36 rounds, but I only do 35. You would think because I'm at round 10 and I did that in an hour, that means it should take me about 3.5 hours to complete it. No. As I get further into the rounds, the longer it takes me because I start from working with 10 double crochet to 150 stitches. Right now, I believe I'm at maybe like 60 stitches or maybe 120 stitches now. Either way, I keep increasing until eventually I'm going to be working with a total of 150 stitches. So it starts to take longer. These ones that I've been making with just one color though, it takes me about 5 to 6 hours versus 6 to 7 hours. When I make it changing all the colors, I literally have to end each round neatly, cut the yarn, and then pick a new color. It usually takes me time to decide what color I want to use next too. And then I have to attach the new color and then start the next round that way and do that 35 different times. And then when I finish that hat, I'm not actually done because then I have to go back and make sure the ends are tight and not gonna come apart. Like I said, this pattern is pretty intermediate to advanced level. I only want to share the stitches that I had to learn that I thought were more on the advanced side. So this isn't gonna be like a comprehensive every stitch you need to know, but I will tell you the stitches that you should know for this pattern. You know what? I think I'm gonna go a step further and find you videos that teach you how to do these basic stitches. Literally some of them I had to look up myself, so they're going to be videos that I actually used. So the basic stitches that you need to know how to make a chain, how to make a single crochet, a half double crochet, a double crochet, a triple crochet, and then you also need to know how to do all of these stitches in the front and back post. You should also know how to do a spike single crochet and a puff, and you should also know how to do a picot stitch. The picot stitch was actually a stitch that I learned how to do because I made this hat, and I was so intimidated by it because it's picot. I was calling it picot too, but it's literally so simple. You just chain 3 and then you slip stitch into the first chain. That's a picot, but there's a video for that. I would say the most advanced stitches are right in the middle of the hat, and those are the stitches that I'm going to teach you. And it makes sense that the most advanced ones are like in the middle because that's where most of the hat is like showcased, you know, like right here. But yeah, the stitches are pretty cool and you can totally use them in other projects. I just haven't figured out how I would use them in other projects yet. But it looks great on a hat, so I'm just thinking it could look so good on any other type of project. You feel me? There are also probably YouTube tutorials that might teach these things, these stitches, better than I'm gonna teach them, but this is how I do it and it works out for me, and it's also how I kind of understand the stitches. I'm going to be showing you how to do a cross stitch, a double crochet 3 together, an inverted Y stitch, and my personal favorite, an X stitch. The cross stitch really tried to throw me for a loop, but I was able to figure it out, and here we go. You can tell that this cap is starting off bigger than this one. Even though I made them the exact same way except for, you know, changing colors, the main difference is my tension while making this was a lot looser, so the hat is coming out a bit bigger, stretchier, and that's because my tension is really loose versus this one where I'm changing colors after each round. It's a bit tighter. It still has really good stretch, but it's smaller. I try to keep track of my tension, but sometimes things just happen to be a little looser. And then there's also certain stitches that you do, there's certain rows that you do that make the piece a little smaller. These are rows of working in the back post, and that's a row that would make the piece smaller. The first stitch I'm going to teach you is how to make a cross stitch. Since I'm starting with a new color, I'm going to have to make a standing double crochet. Start with a slip knot. To make a standing double crochet, I just yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now that I have my first double crochet, I'm going to skip 2 stitches, so that's these 2, 1, 2, and in the third stitch I'm going to double crochet again. Yarn over, 1, 2, 3. Double crochet. And now I'm going to chain 2. And from the back, meaning I'm going to turn my work this way, I'm going to double crochet into the first stitch that I skipped. So from the back, I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into this front stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And it makes an X. For the next one, I'm just going to double crochet right into the stitch next to it. I'm going to skip 2 stitches, double crochet in the next one. Chain 2 and double crochet in the first skipped stitch. Once I've completed my rounds, I end the same way every time with an invisible join. For an invisible join, you just cut your yarn and then pull all the way through the last stitch. And then in this first stitch here, I'm going to insert my hook and pull this end piece into it. And then I'm back to my ending stitch, and I'm going to insert my hook from the back into that back loop. And pull through. You know, I'm actually not positive this is exactly how you do an invisible join, but this is how I do it, and it holds, and then I just do 2 knots to that starting yarn. The next color I'm going to use is this blue, and I am now going to show you how to do a double crochet 3 together. Now a double crochet 3 I feel like looks really nice and clean, and I actually prefer to do double crochet 3s instead of puffs. So this pattern requires quite a few puff stitches, but I don't like the way my puffs turn out. I feel like I always mess them up, and I'm not really good at them, which is why I'm not going to show y'all how I do them, because I really don't do them. These spaces like here and here, it's supposed to be puffs. I prefer to do double crochet 3s there instead. And I'm going to show you how a double crochet 3 works. I'm going to start with the standing double crochet. So that's going to look like this. I start like a regular double crochet, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So this is half of a double crochet right now, but to make a double crochet 3, instead of finishing the double crochet, I'm going to yarn over again, insert into the chain 2 space, pull up, yarn over, and pull through 2. Well, now I have 3 loops left on my hook, but I'm going to yarn over one more time, insert my hook, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2. And now I have 4 loops left. And this is when I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is a standing double crochet 3. And it looks so neat. So for this round, I'm just going to chain 2. I'm going to repeat the same thing. Start with 1 double crochet, don't finish it. Start another double crochet, and then a 3rd double crochet. And that's why it's called a double crochet 3 together, because it's 3 double crochets in here, but it only creates 1 stitch at the top. Now I'm going to finally show you my 2 favorite stitches. Definitely top 2. So the first one is going to be a picot stitch, and the second one is going to be an inverted Y stitch. I'm trying not to be too picky about the colors I'm using, because the first one I made, I used so many different colors. But now I feel like I prefer to have some type of cohesion, even if it is a bunch of random colors. Some level of cohesion. So now I'm going to be working inside those double crochet 3 stitches. I'm going to start with the standing double crochet. Now a picot stitch is very simple and can be added anywhere really. You start off by chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and then inserting your hook into the first chain. So this is the first chain, just insert my hook in there. And create a single crochet. Yeah, that is it. That's the picot. This pattern sandwiches the picot stitch in between 2 double crochet, and it gives it this dimension, this little point. Now for the inverted Y stitch, I'm going to yarn over twice. Insert my hook in the chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. There should be 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over again, insert into the second chain 2 space, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I have 4 loops left, yarn over, pull through 2. I'm going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And this is why it's called an inverted Y stitch, because it makes sort of a Y shape. For the final stitch I'm going to show you how to make, it actually isn't used in the pattern until way later, but it's a very popular, cool looking stitch, and it's called the X stitch. And to make the X stitch, you actually have to start with an inverted Y stitch. So I'm just going to show you how to do that now. So starting from here, after you've made an inverted Y, you're going to chain 1. I'm going to yarn over And I'm going to be working into these 2 loops up here, right in front. They kind of stick out, so you should notice them. So after yarning over, I'm going to insert my hook into those front 2 stitches. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's a double crochet essentially, and it makes an X. This is an X stitch. It starts the same way you would start an inverted Y stitch. So yarn over twice, insert my hook into the first chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. There should be 3 loops left. Yarn over and insert into the second chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. There should be 4 loops left now. Yarn over, pull through 2. 3 loops left. Yarn over, pull through 2. 2 loops left, and then finally yarn over and pull through 2. 1 loop left. And then we're going to continue with the chain 1. And now I'm going to yarn over and insert my hook into the surface stitches. Pull through, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, and that's a double crochet. And now you have an X stitch. This is what the X stitch looks like later on. So right now I'm still here. This is the picot and stuff. Also, this hat being the first hat that I made, my tension was super loose. So this hat is very stretchy. It just looks bigger. This is also what a puff looks like. This was my first time doing puffs, and I think these look a mess. Like, it's the right idea, but it just does not work out. And I think that's also because I use embroidery thread, so the yarn kind of just like sticks out. And yeah, I don't really like that, so I don't do puffs anymore. Instead, I just do double crochet 3s together, and it looks so much cleaner. When I finish making each hat, the final step is cleaning up the ends. Now, cleaning up the ends of this hat is a bit different than cleaning up regular crochet ends because each row is a different color, and there's nowhere for you to really tuck in these ends with a darting needle. So what I do is place a little bit of hot glue at the tip of each end and start of each row, and then I knot it together twice. I just try to make sure it's as secure as possible before I cut the ends off. It's basically it though. This is how I make the hat, and other care instructions would just include making sure to only hand wash the hat if you ever need to wash it, and use warm water, not hot water. Be very gentle with it, and other than that, it's good to go. So if you would like to get this pattern, you can get it on Etsy. I will link the Etsy link below, but the pattern is by Kate and it's called the Splash Bucket Hat. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helps you make your very own hat. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!